Welcome back to the final round of the inaugural European Super Touring Championship. We are in for a bit of a party-like atmosphere as the majority of the titles have been decided. I believe that the Manufacturer Championship still is to play for off the back of the results of what the stewards saw in Mauro Heidfeld's move on Anthony Ingram in the last race at Deep Forest. As you know, he finished fourth on track, and the stewards felt necessary that they disqualify him from the race. So everyone behind got an extra point in their placings. Anyone, especially whoever finished 16th, got points for 15th, and therefore there is a 70-point gap, roughly 70-point gap in the Manufacturer Championship between Hyundai, who have come good at the end of the season, despite Marco Kubica's stellar performance, which has got him the driver's title. So they are in a relaxed mood. They are in the midfield. And on pole is Van Dalmas in the Peugeot. This is Adrian Michael Rees, and alongside me, Michael Swinnerton. I'm assuming this is going to be a bit more of a relaxed atmosphere with still other positions to play for.
Yeah, you'd certainly hope so. It's always nice to come back to Brands Hatch. This is always just a great venue for anything and everything. And yeah, BMW can just sort of hang out, really. I mean, I dare say they're still racing drivers, right? They're still going to try for race wins and what have you. But it would be nice to see, given the amount of pole positions a Peugeot has gotten so far this year, it would be nice to see if Dalmac can actually turn it into a race win for once.
Fingers crossed, eh? And as you'll also see, Audi are on the front couple of rows as well. They've managed to get something back out of that Audi, which had been lost in the previous three events. So let's see how it goes for race one this afternoon. Downhill start for the majority of the grid. As you'll see, the rear-wheel drive cars already starting to make inroads, but Dalmas has got the advantage already. Bianchi down to up to second. Nilsson with the wobble on already, down to third. The two Audis fourth and fifth as the train heads through Druids Hairpin.
Yeah, Steve Percy there leading the way for the privateers into fifth already. That's good start from the Ford. We know those cars have been quick all year, even if they haven't always shown it at certain tracks.
That certain track being Deep Forest, they weren't there at all, but every other venue has been very reasonable. Still the first lap though, still side by side onto the Grand Prix loop.
Big moment of oversteer for Grönholm there. He's completely knackered his momentum going down the straight here. Meanwhile, here comes Bianchi for the lead. The battle of the Frenchmen in the French cars. So Dalmau managed to hold the lead through turn one and most of the Indy circuit, but lost it at Hawthorne. So he got half a lap of leading the race in there.
Dell.
Relatively well behaved so far. Going into clearways, this is always going to provide a problem for most cars, as it is a downhill acceleration zone, so it just promotes understeer as you try to get on the power.
It looked like Kubica was going into the pits then as he was having a battle with Barbosa. Lap one completed. Down the inside maybe, especially on the exit.
Not giving up on this Peugeot, is he? There we go. Preferred line, got the apex. Although that Peugeot is still there, it's still at his quarter panel. Oh, not quite. Had to back out of the move.
There's Morris, his final outing. Radicic, that's a much better sight to see, despite his woes outside of the Nürburgring.
Yes, well, Radicic was the one who actually managed to get the lucky... He finished 16th on the road in Deep Forest, so he got the lucky 1 point thanks to Heidfeld's disqualification. Meanwhile,
So
just behind him, we have Ingram versus Liuzzi for 12th here. These two have been squabbling back and forth over the course of this lap. Oh, Ingram, I wouldn't go down the inside of Sheen, that's a bad idea.
Heidfeld still 14th. That's the position they were in that got Heidfeld disqualified. So I think, in all fairness, hands have been shaken in that regard as well. Mind you,
I think Ingram's getting better acceleration zones than the Hyundai in front of him, because that's twice now he's been caught out by him and accidentally gone into the back of him.
Looked like he was trying to take it out on Liuzzi, but then again, okay, let's not echo it. Not this early.
It's only
not back to back,
please.
And
Heidfeld backing way off and causing everyone else to go too wide behind him.
Tassie, Karen, Wilcock.
Just tripping over each other there.
Bianchi with enough of a gap.
Good lead there. McNish showing his local knowledge of the track here on the podium so far. Looks like he wants to get around Downman. Looks like he is the faster car at the moment. I don't know where he might make the move. Westfield is not necessarily the best overtaking place.
Kind of magnetised to that curve on the exit of Halewood.
His best chance is to get a better line through Sterling's here, get a good run and get up the inside of him into clearways, but he's not going to get that being this far back.
You tell Peugeot are clinging on for every position they can. Look at the camber on the rear wheels. Even though they're not driving wheels, they want to make sure they've got enough grip through the turns to stay up front.
Yeah, the Peugeot is also weirdly high off the ground. You can see a lot of ground clearance underneath there. I wonder if that's hurting them. If that's the lowest that car can go, then that's not going to be helpful in an aerodynamic or handling sense.
We shall see what the difference is when that second season car comes out of the box for season 2.
Yes, apparently they're very close to showing off their version 2 RCZ.
And McNish clearly nearly showing off the season 1 version and trying to destroy it almost by not braking at all for Surtees.
He's got a good run down here. Going too wide through Hawthorne is doable.
It's the momentum, there it is.
It looks like Dalmat just let him through there. Didn't want to be stuck on the outside on such a wide sweeping corner. Although he's got to be careful now because the Volkswagen behind is smelling blood.
The other Audi still not there yet. Percy, very respectable 6th. Kubica, with title in hand, wants to get that for the team, and positions like that are obviously going to help because the Tassi Hyundai is still behind and still stuck behind some of the privateer outfits.
Yeah, this is what I was about to bring up actually. Both Audis are in the top 5, whereas the highest placed Hyundai, 13th. So that play that Hyundai were making for at least second in the constructors' points, this is not how you want to go about it.
I wonder if they've kind of declared and looking to focus on next season as well now, which is a bit of a shame. There's Shane Radicic.
Radicic opened the door at Paddock Hill on Sean Morris, and Ingram just followed him through a Druids. Morris here just being completely freight trained by everyone. There goes Liuzzi round the outside. Doesn't quite make the move work.
It's been a very good advert for Shane Radicic if he's going to be in the top 10 come the end of the season. I mean, We
He
saw it
has
at
the
the
talent.
Nürburgring.
He's just been, him and his team have just been chasing the setup and teaching Radicic not only the tracks, but how to drive a front-wheel drive car effectively.
And how to drive a front-wheel drive, how to drive a rear-wheel drive car. We saw Liuzzi trying to get past Heidfeld, but that momentum went and vanished entirely because he's still with a gap to Heidfeld as well.
Yeah, after knocking on the door of Morris in front of him, he's lost a spot to the BMW. It's going to be the BMW's turn to try and pass the Volkswagen. Stick his nose up at the inside of Sterling's. It could work. Doesn't quite, though. Will he try anything into clearways? It's entirely possible.
Liuzzi to shake something off then. So that position is not...
They're just going to hold station for
13th.
now.
Ingram chasing down Radicic. Well behaved through Paddock. That okay, maybe not.
Oh, up the inside, he's got to run. Radicic just left him room, and he's already made it stick.
The momentum had gone on the exit of Paddock there.
Yeah, whereas Ingram had a wobble going into the corner, it looked like Radicic just lost grip coming out of the corner, and that was definitely the worst of the two outcomes.
Your leader is your fastest lap holder so far. His teammate Capelli now has Ingram in his rearview mirrors.
Looks like Capelli wants to get around ahead. Barbosa.
Dalmar being a cork to Nilsson and Gronholm at the very least. Still a gap to Percy,
who is in turn holding up Kubica.
I think he'd have overtook by now.
Now we do know something else that came out this week. We do know that Steve Percy Ford is going to be driven by Shane Radicic next year. So it's in theory a step up for the Kiwi, going from one privateer team to another privateer team.
Another year's experience in the bag. Maybe we will see that car in the same position.
Yes, hopefully we'll see some more top 10s out of him for sure. Kubica just filling the rear view mirrors of Steve Percy here. At this point, he won't have a clue that there's a Peugeot behind them, because all he'll see is M2 everywhere. He's doing a good job just holding his line, making sure Kubica doesn't get any lines on the inside or get a better amount of momentum coming out of the corner. And all the while, they are all slowly catching Dalmar in third there.
Percy with a slight bit of over. That was almost what Radicic had on the exit of Paddock, on the exit of Surtees there for Percy. Kubica with the momentum, but so should Nilsson on the shirt tails of Dalmas.
You've got to be very careful overtaking through this Grand Prix loop. It's doable, but it's difficult. Through Sheen and into Sterling's they go. Dalmas just a little bit too far in front for Nilsson to get an actual run on him.
They opened up that section in 2003 and it still doesn't really lend to any sort of overtaking, not even into this final turn here. Questionable line from Grondholm then on the exit of Clearways.
It hasn't hurt him any. So am I right to assume that you would rather see the old chicane of Dingle come back than on the Grand Prix?
Either way, the overtaking never seemed to occur on either the traditional pre-chicane layout or this much more open space post-chicane variant that we see since 2003. But it's at least they're running on it. At least.
Gronholm now having a look at Dalmas. It's his turn to try and get past the Peugeot.
If I remember correctly, I just saw far too many accidents with the chicane variant. More accidents than the older traditional layout.
Yes, I believe it was a bit of a magnet for Formula 3 cars tripping over each other and wheel banging, which you don't want to do in an open wheel car, of course.
This section here tightened since 1988, as was this bit, but this is the back to a single corner here.
Sheen and then into Sterling's. I've always, as a driver, I've always enjoyed Sterling's because of how banked it is. It means you can just flick the car in third, throw it in, put some power down, and the car just sticks. Unless you've got something seriously wrong with the setup.
Very rare a mistake.
Gronholm, a different line coming out of Clearways. It looked like he was going to have a bit of momentum on Downmat. He might send
Down
it up
the
the inside into Paddock. Backs out of it. Got a wobble on the curb. That car is a bit too stiff for curbs, it seems. Should probably stay off those.
Is up to second. Perhaps I didn't see that too soon because Dalmas now down to
second for a while, but yeah. And McNish, importantly, he's keeping Bianchi honest. Bianchi isn't being allowed to run away with this race win, so Bianchi, of course, hasn't won so far this year. It's been Capelli that's gotten the wins for Renault, so Bianchi definitely has something to prove. Definitely has shown he's got the pace to win on more than one occasion, just hasn't been able to close the deal and see it through.
And whilst Bianchi is there, you'd think the other race-winning Renault should be there or thereabouts, but it's not even in the top 8 on that ladder you see on the left.
Yeah, I think Capelli is just struggling with traffic further down the field at the moment.
McNish with a slight wobble on out at Halewood.
And they all just space out again. Oh, here's something we missed. Percy's in front of Barbosa.
Kubica down to 8th as well. Capelli 9th, so that's where we...
So yeah, he is in the traffic jam. But he's got himself a little bit of a gap with an Ingram somewhat behind him.
Radicic now holding up Heidfeld.
And Liuzzi, who are busy squabbling over each other, squabbling between each other over who is going to have the honour of trying to pass the Honda in front of them.
And it's still not for pole in race 2. That falls on Ingram's shoulders. As it currently stands. Heidfeld
had to put a bit of a slide job on there to defend from Liuzzi, and it's hindered both of their momentum, allowing Radicic just to get away a little bit.
Do you think the accident and then the penalty kind of changed Heidfeld's attitude? I mean, this is the first time he's back after what was meant to be a retirement, and very good he was up until that point, and it seems to have changed his entire demeanour.
Maybe, I mean, Heidfeld, despite always being a safe pair of hands, has always had a slightly uppy-downy season, where most of his finishes will be very nice and consistent, and then he'll have at least 2 race weekends a year where his team, him and his race engineer and whoever, just can't get the handle on the car and get it to do what he wants round a certain track. We've seen it happen before. I mean, most notably was Interlagos in the World Series, where he was very much last place last year in this M2. And we were all wondering what was going on there.
Despite that inconsistency, a projected second in the championship by the time we end this weekend, even though he is now stuck behind the New Zealand rookie Radicic. But also doing a good job for BMW as a team to fend off the 2 Hyundais from getting even better points to knock some kind of dent in that manufacturer championship.
Well, Hyundai's, I think, the bigger concern right now is how well Audi are doing, because they are the direct rivals for 2nd and 3rd places. Meanwhile, here's this little 4-car train with Steve Percy heading out.
Barbosa was trying to make a move just then.
Ingram just sitting back a little bit and watching the fireworks, waiting for a moment to strike. And if Kubica makes a move, then maybe Ingram can just follow him through.
Kubica be threatening to light off one of those fireworks through Halewood. Not enough of a close. That's through Sterling, but you can see Ingram gaining on all three of them in front.
It may just be the concertina effect talking, but it looks like this little train of three is slowly catching the Audi and Peugeot in front of Grandholm and Dalma, even though they're going too wide into Paddock Hill almost.
Yeah, Percy still ahead. Grandholm there with fifth. Threatening to go down into the Dalmas, but that was perspective, I think. Yeah, Dalmas is still ahead.
Easily in front. Everyone's just close enough where they think they might be able to make a move, but not quite close enough where they can fully commit to it. So there's just a lot of will they, won't they going on at the moment.
Outside of Alsace, I think this is Peugeot's best performance, even though they're not in the top three, 4th and 7th.
That's still 2 cars in the top 10, which, yeah, you're right. Given the season they've had, this is solidly reliable for them. Although there goes Kubica. No, he was alongside. And then there goes Barbosa up the inside of Hawthorne.
Derek went the straight. Barbosa ahead. Kubica looking to capitalise.
Follow him through.
Halewood.
Percy. They did very well not to push Percy out onto the gravel at Westfield there, because that would be certain death. So in the space of a few corners, Percy has just lost 2 spots. Make that 3, possibly. Round the outside.
Ingram.
You can use the banking to your advantage there. Ingram shows it exactly how you can.
Echoes of the Nürburgring. And how many outside moves we saw there.
Yeah, that was very opportunistic. He made it work. So Percy, in the space of 1 lap, 3 spots. Though, does put him 9th place, which would mean a front row start for race 2. And with... Oh, there's some rallycross.
There we go. Outside the top 10. Heidfeld, potential P1 for race 2. Ingram all the way back. I think he is all the way back.
16th
into the clutches of the gutter of the privateers, but not the absolute trench that is P20, because he's definitely safe from that position. Hello, Esteban. How are you doing?
Lap and a half left. Bianchi has got an angry Audi in his rearview mirrors.
And an angry Scirocco. Peugeot 4th and 5th. This is your top 3. Kubica and Grandholm in a conference meeting.
That's one way of putting it.
I think the off by Ingram kind of shook up proceedings here, because now we're seeing the Peugeots 4th and 5th. Kubica about to truncate that, given his momentum, given the...
I think given half the chance, Kubica could possibly get a 2-for-1 deal on Peugeots here, but it only has 1 lap to do it. So if he's going to do that, he's got to really send it hard into either Paddock Hill or one of the other heavy braking zones.
Sending
and
it
make
now.
It stick. It's a bit of curve. The other Peugeot gets loose. Well, he's got 1. Can he get the other and get a 4th place finish? That would definitely be a good end to rounding out a very dominant season from this young Polish lad.
And if our calculations are correct, that will confirm, without doubt, BMW's manufacturer title as well. I was hoping...
It's a good effort from Audi, but this is going to be... It's not going to be quite enough. Just getting away a little bit from Kubica. Kubica's going to have to rely on the BMW's superior braking to make sure Barbosa doesn't do what he's threatening to do. There we go.
Peugeot Power almost threatening to take that back.
It the
Gron.
smaller engine has definitely hurt them, but the car is nice and slippery in an aerodynamic sense, which makes up for the lack of power down a straight line there. I don't know if Kubica's going to be able to get past Dalmau. There isn't really many opportunities here unless he can make something amazing happen.
Down here.
Oh,
Oh,
I was going to say
he
coming out
thought
of
about it.
clearways, but not Surtees, not
He
Sterling's,
was
but there it is.
he was reading your mind, but to no avail. Bianchi then, almost like the flag. Peugeot notwithstanding. First lap led, last lap led. Third race win for Renault overall. That's Bianchi's first in the Euros, and a decent spread across the line between first and 19th. Ingram managing to get 16th. He didn't get a point after all that. Gouvan 19th, and Bianchi with the fastest lap as
That's
well,
maximum points for the Renault driver.
and kind of solidifies the fourth in the manufacturer championship for them. Very weird look at manufacturer standings. Volkswagen are sixth overall, but yeah, BMW jumping for joy, or as efficiently jumping for joy as they can be right now, with all the effort reserved for race two. But race one in the books, no um, no felonies to cite this time by. So that should be good for the results overall, even though they are official right now. Yeah, party time has begun. Let's see what it's like for race two. What did you reckon there, Swinny?
Yeah, absolutely. I was expecting. I mean, Paddock Hill has always claimed at least one car every time someone races around here, running a bit wide and catching the gravel. It's just a shame that it was Ingram. But
The
hey
only
ho, he
time it
was the
happened,
sacrificial lamb, and as I say, there has to be one. There has to be one that tries the rallycross route through Paddock Hill.
and it's such a shame that well, you see it right there that the Rallycross variant is just now effectively grass. But no matter what we say, I don't think we're going to get that back anytime soon. But we still hope. There is always hope. Yeah, we're more enjoyable touring car racing for one last shot in Europe next time by. On behalf of Michael Swinnerton, this is Adrian Michael Rees. Good racing, everyone.